A family spends 300 days hiding in an underground bunker from a deadly pandemic, without realizing they are far more terrifying than any virus. A little girl named Zoe wakes up from a nightmare. She hides under the bed and confesses to her mother, Claire, that she is terribly afraid. The thing is, dangerous creatures known as the breathers are roaming outside. Zoe insists that her doll, Olive, warns the family whenever great danger is close. To calm her daughter, Claire takes Zoe to her father. His name is Ray, and he keeps watch over the house while his family sleeps. The man says he's been playing solitaire all night, and nothing bad has happened during his shift. The family goes over their most important rules. Don't make noise. Don't lose control. Don't leave the house. And last but not least, never talk about the breathers. Zoe climbs the ladder to check if all the locks are secured. Actually, this isn't a house. It's more like a bunker, strong enough to withstand even a nuclear disaster. Deep inside, they even have their own artificial sun. Zoe marks a new line on the wall. The family has been trapped in this shelter for 301 days. Claire prepares a meal from their dwindling supplies. They have plenty of canned food, but Zoe begs her mother to open the peaches. Claire insists on beans instead, since they're far more nutritious. Ray sides with Zoe, and a reluctant Claire finally gives in. But when she opens the tin, there are no peaches inside. Someone has eaten them already. And it's not just the peaches. 12 cans of food are empty, nearly 2 weeks' worth of rations. Ray suspects a rat must have slipped in through the ventilation system. They need to track the rodent down and get rid of it before it destroys the rest of their food. For now, the family is forced to eat beans, since that's the only food left. Zoe is deeply upset. She hates beans. She can't go outside. She has no friends. All she has is her doll. Ray reminds his daughter that she still has the most important things: parents, food, and a safe home. For all they know, they might be the only survivors left in the world. Ray promises the girl that one day, when it's safe again, they'll go on a real journey together. After lunch, the family gathers around the table for board games. That's one of the few ways left to distract themselves underground. They dream aloud about the foods they miss most: ice cream, nougat, and other sweet treats. Later, Zoe plays cards with her doll, Olive. Ray and Claire know their food is running low, so they have to go outside, no matter the danger. The problem is that the breathers are always out there, hunting, and more than once, the monsters have almost caught the protagonists. Yet, Zoe's safety comes before everything. If they have to risk their lives, so be it. Ray reminds Claire that even in this broken world, life hasn't ended. They have to find joy in the small things that remain. Claire agrees. At last, the truth about what happened begins to unfold. First came a blinding flash in the skies above the United States, followed by an unknown virus. And from that virus, the creatures were born. To escape them, the protagonists sealed themselves inside this bunker. Claire continues homeschooling Zoe, drilling her in mathematics. Zoe finds it too boring. Moreover, what's the point of learning math when there's no one left in the world? That's when Claire pulls out a battered periscope and tells her daughter she wants to show her something. Zoe peers through the lens and sees the surface for the first time in her life. The world outside is empty, but not entirely devoid of life. A few birds still soar through the sky, yet one truth is clear: human beings have vanished. Claire and Zoe return to their games, but the girl can't calm down. She's deeply worried about the breathers. At that moment, Zoe spots a rat in the kitchen. She wakes up her dad and asks him to help catch it. Ray tries to sneak up on the rodent, but the rat notices him and rushes away. Claire manages to catch up with it and ends the animal's life with a single blow. However, during the chase, Ray accidentally knocks over a kerosene lamp and sets their wooden table on fire. The family barely manages to put out the flame, using blankets and a makeshift water pump. Ray and Claire find frightened Zoe hiding under the bed and give the girl's favorite doll back to her. The problem is that because of the fire, a lot of smoke rose through the ventilation. Now, everyone around will know where their shelter is. We return to the past again. Ray and Claire adored each other, and they loved their little Zoe even more. One day, the girl learned that her best friend Joey was moving away, and she became very upset. Joey's family looked extremely frightened. The boy admitted that his parents had been talking about some kind of virus. Other neighbors also suddenly left somewhere. Ray and Claire had no idea what was going on. And now we return to the present. Claire and Ray look through the periscope to assess the situation. They see a layer of ash that has settled on the ground right above their shelter because of the smoke. Claire says they have to go out and clear the ash before the breathers show up. Together with Ray, she leaves the shelter, ordering Zoe to stay inside and not to open the door to anyone. While Ray and Claire are clearing away the ash, Zoe uses their homemade periscope. At first, everything looks calm, but suddenly the girl spots a figure in the distance that looks human. Forgetting her parents' instructions, Zoe also climbs up to the surface to warn her mom and dad of the danger. The girl insists she saw a breather. A few frightened deer run past them. The family peers anxiously into the distance and then quickly returns to their shelter. Claire, Ray, and Zoe try to remain silent. They hear someone moving above them, breathing heavily. Zoe panics and struggles to hold back her tears. Ray does everything he can to calm her down. He even uses something like hypnosis, urging the girl to recall the happiest moments of her life so she can stop panicking. His tactic works. Yet the unknown monster keeps pacing on the surface, making sounds that are either heavy breathing or low growls. Suddenly, Zoe's favorite doll gets caught on a metal screw in one of the pipes, activating and producing loud noises. The breather realizes its prey is hiding below and tries to break into the shelter. This creature is incredibly strong, and it's about to force its way inside. The family frantically barricades every entrance to the shelter. For a moment, it seems the danger has passed, as the footsteps above are gone. But maybe their enemy is planning something. To their horror, the family realizes the breather is waiting for other monsters to arrive. They have nowhere to run and no chance of escape, but they are ready to fight, at least for Zoe's sake. We return once again to the past and see Ray, Claire, and Zoe driving down the highway. They are leaving their town, hoping to escape from the unknown virus. Soon, their car approaches a checkpoint. It turns out that no one is allowed to pass. Everyone is ordered to go back home and remain under quarantine. Back in the present, other breathers join the first monster, and eventually they break into the family's shelter. The protagonists make a desperate attempt to escape. Claire saves her daughter, while Ray stays behind to hold off the breathers. He sets one of the doors on fire and barricades it. Meanwhile, Claire and Zoe manage to climb outside through the ventilation hatch. Ray tries to follow them, but he can't, as the hatch opening is far too small for him. The breathers burst into the room and seize Ray. Terrifying screams echo, and crimson stains spread across the walls. Claire and Zoe are horrified, but there is no time for tears. The mother grabs her daughter and pulls her farther away from the shelter. They stumble and fall, but heroically keep running forward. Soon they reach an abandoned highway. Claire and Zoe notice a helicopter in the sky and try to hide from it, but instead they are caught in nets and taken prisoner. Moments later, the breathers show up. We expect to see terrifying monsters, but in reality, they are American soldiers in protective gear. They wear special gas masks, which make their breathing sound so loud. In addition, they carry weapons. Claire and Zoe beg the soldiers to let them go, but the military ignores their cries. We shift back to the past once more. When their neighborhood was locked down under quarantine, military planes appeared in the sky and bombed the entire city. People were terrified. Ray and his family ran to the nearest shelter, located in the yard of an abandoned school. There was a large stock of food and even toys and books inside. As they descended, Claire accidentally cut her hand on a sharp piece of metal. She showed the wound to her husband. Her blood had turned black. It seemed they really were infected with some kind of virus. Back in the present, the soldiers take blood samples from Claire and Zoe and begin interrogating them. Then, the soldiers raise their weapons. At that very moment, Ray appears and attacks one of them. Black blood runs through his veins, making him look like a true monster. Ray takes down several soldiers in a matter of seconds. The virus seems to have made him unbelievably strong and agile, but not immortal. After being hit with several bullets, Ray collapses to the ground. Claire and Zoe manage to break free from the net. The mother's rage is so overwhelming that she transforms into a monster too. She slaughters all the remaining soldiers except for one. That man even manages to wound her. He prepares to finish Claire off, but suddenly, the transformed Zoe comes into action. She rips the gas mask from his face, intent on infecting the soldier with her virus. Zoe grows so feral that she even attacks Claire. The woman reminds her daughter of rule number 2, never lose control. At those words, the girl regains her senses. They approach Ray, only to realize there's no chance of saving him. Claire spots another military helicopter in the sky and flees with her daughter. Soon, Claire and Zoe discover a new refuge within the sewer system. Suddenly, they hear someone approaching. Could it be the breathers who've tracked them down again? But no, it's a boy named Joey, Zoe's neighbor and best friend. He is infected too. Joey leads the main characters deeper into the underground tunnels, where other infected survivors are hiding. Zoe and Claire join the rest of them. The girl says they managed to hold out for 302 days because they never stopped looking at the sun. Every new day felt like a miracle.